for 40 million people. Somebody has got to say something. So what Moral Monday is about is making sure that our energy, our resistance, our dissent is rooted in the facts. It's not even about a personality battle, not just being against somebody who happens to have kind of yellowish orange hair. You know, it's not about whether or not you like somebody who has roots in South Africa. It's about policies. Somebody say policies. The other thing about this budget is there is an attempt in this budget to make legal all of the cuts of DOGE. Oh, that got somebody riled up. Yeah. Now, what means by that is, you see, everything that Trump does with the executive orders can be overturned. But you can take it to court, or another president can overturn it, or the Congress. But you can't take a budget to court. And this particular budget, if it's passed as it is, will be law for 10 years. 10 years. See, that means we have to be willing to fight it coming into existence. And if it gets into existence, we got to fight ways to remove it from existence. And that means you got to be engaged in the political process, because the only one that can overturn the budget once it's passed is another Congress. Is another Congress. And you know how many votes, total votes, were the difference between the House being the majority it is versus what it could be? 7,000. 7,000. 7,000, that's all. So here at Moral Monday, we're talking about the violence, and as people get ready to pray and make their statements, and we'll always have somebody impacted as well, and people that are real. So I'm coming today, when we talk about women and children, and you know, federal workers are everywhere. And if you can allow someone to attack federal workers, if they can walk in and undo federal workers, eventually they can do it to everybody, right? So I close with this. Moral Monday is nonviolence taking on violence. Because as Coretta King said, violence is denying people health care. Violence is denying children education. Violence is not paying people a living wage. Violence is not just shooting somebody with a gun. And violence is when we form an apathetic attitude and refuse to challenge other forms of violence. So say, we've come here to take on the violence. So every Moral Monday at the beginning, you will get clarity about what the issues are. You will get the facts, not just a bunch of hearsay and talking, but the facts. I want my fight to be rooted in facts. Somebody say, Reverend Barber, you're inspirational. I don't want to be inspirational if there's no facts in it. I want my facts to drive the inspiration, right? I want folk to know why they're upset, know why you're angry, know why you choose to stand, know why you're willing to put it on the line, know why you have to. So these sheets will come, and they'll make sure that you know that, and the parts of Moral Monday is coming here. You say, well, why coming here? Because the more you come and the more people see it out on the YouTube, and let me tell you what I'm going to say it this way. They'll look at that thing and they'll say, now, why all these preachers got on these robes and stuff going into the cow? Why all these people? Why did I see 5 white women holding hands with 4 black women and a Latino? And why all these folk with this gray hair and some of them with brown hair? And what's going on? Now, at first they're going to call you just a group of folk. But if you stay and stand long enough, they'll come to call you the very moral heart of this nation. Tell somebody, I'm ready to shake it up. Now find 2 people around you, somebody you didn't come with, and tell them, I'm ready to stand with you. Find somebody, come on. Come on, I'm ready. I'm ready to tell somebody else. Yeah. Now call somebody's name, some woman or some child that needs their Medicaid that you know, and you're here to fight for them. Call their name, call their name. Call the community. Huh? Yeah. I stand today for those 8 women I met in West Virginia some time ago who told me that they literally sold tacos on Tuesday so that they could have just enough money the rest of the month to try to help the women in that community with doing their menstrual cycles because they worked jobs that were so underpaid that they depended on strangers coming by. Those women in West Virginia had no business being forced to live like that in this country. And it's time for us, for we are not in a crisis of party versus party. We are in a crisis of civilization, a human rights crisis, and a crisis of democracy itself. And guess what? You've been chosen to make sure that those that would destroy, those that would hate, don't have the final say, and they don't ultimately win, because you are the moral heartbeat of this country. Come on and give yourselves a hand for coming. Now folk can come and pray because they know what to pray about, and they come and sing and because they know what to sing about. And then we're going to get ready to go and deliver these fact sheets to every member of Congress and go to the rotunda. All right? All right.
We will now have Rabbi Shiner. Share to come.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes,
very
sir.
much.
Yes, sir.
From Psalm 101, verse 1. Of love and justice I will sing. To you, O God, I'll sing praises. Of love and justice I will sing. To you, O God, I'll sing praises. Of love and justice I will sing. To you, O God, I'll sing praises. Of love and justice I will sing. To you, O God, I'll sing praises. The Hebrew, LeDavid Mizmor, LeDavid Mizmor, a song of David. Chesed u'mishpat ashira, lecha Adonai azamera. 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 Of love and justice I will sing. To you, O God, I'll sing praises. Of love and justice I will sing. To you, O God, I'll sing praises. Of love and justice I will sing. To you, O God, I'll sing praises. Of love and justice I will sing. To you, O God, I'll sing praises. Thank you, Reverend Barber. Thank you so much for this opportunity to stand with you all. The other night we held at the Cedar Lane Unitarian Church, our community in Cedar Lane held an Interfaith Freedom Seder, and we've been doing this for a number of years now. And we are, we are one. We are one. And there's a verse from Psalm 133. I'm into Psalms. Psalm from 133. How good and how pleasant it is when brothers and sisters gather together in harmony. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. Psalm 37 really speaks to me this well, always, but especially during these times. By the way, I'm a local rabbi here with the Am Kollel community. Some of our members are here. And I say, hey. And also I'm a member of Jews United for Justice. A few thousand of us here in the D.C. area in Maryland fighting for justice. One of the things that we did last month during the holiday of Purim, we took gifts of pastries and goodies. Pastries and goodies to Annapolis to give these gifts to all the legislators there. To show, we want to relate to them in a very human, compassionate, loving way, even while some of them might be oblivious to the needs of others, and it's a very effective way of reaching people. Okay, so the psalm that I want to read goes like this. I'm also a member of Teruah, which is a rabbinic call for human rights, 2,300 rabbis and cantors throughout the United States. Psalm 37, fret not to yourself because of evildoers. Be not envious of wrongdoers, for they will soon fade like the grass and wither like the green herb. Trust in the eternal and do good. Dwell in the land and befriend faithfulness. Delight yourself in the Holy One of Being, and you will be given the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Creator of all. Trust in God, and God will respond. Your righteousness will come forth as the light, and your acts of justice as the noonday. Be still before the life-giver and be patient. Fret not yourself over the one who prospers falsely, over the ones who carries out evil devices. Refrain from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not yourself, it tells only to evil. For the evildoer shall be cut off. For those who wait for the compassionate one shall inherit the land. Just a little while, the wicked will be no more. Though you look cautiously at this place, will not be there. Rather, the meek shall inherit the land and delight themselves in abundant peace.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen. My brothers and sisters, as Hannah comes to lay out, we want you to know everybody that's undergirding. Tomorrow Monday is though a fight. Let's be very clear. We may hope for some folk to change, but we're not going to not fight for the change while we wait for them to change. That's right. All right, let's be very clear. We're going to call what's evil, evil, and what's wrong, wrong. Right? There's nothing weak about this. Nothing weak at all. We speak very clearly about what's going on. Hannah, tell them who's underneath this, who's supporting.
Moral Mondays are powered by a bold and growing coalition of faith, civil rights leaders, labor, and justice organizations, including Christian Church, Disciples of Christ, Presbyterian Church USA, With Repairs of the Breach, African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church, the AME Zion Church, National Council of Churches, United Church of Christ, Sojourners, National Urban League, Black Voters Matter, Poor People's Campaign, Unitarian Universalist Association, and there is 23 anchor churches in the state in DC that is supporting this work, and we want you also to be a part of us. So continue to be a supporter of Moral Mondays in DC at the Capitol.
All right. Sarah.
Hello, I'm Sarah Anderson with the Institute for Policy Studies.
Yeah.
I'm going to start out with a rumor that's been flying around Capitol Hill because I think it should give you a little bit of the hope that Reverend Barber talked about that is so important, the hope that people can change. And that is the rumor that some Republicans supposedly have suddenly become open to the idea of raising the top income tax rate on the rich.
Uh-oh.
This, my friend, is a sign that they are feeling the pressure, and we need to keep it up, right?
That's right.
Raising the top income tax rate is critical, but it wouldn't go far enough to fix our rigged tax system. And I'm going to give you an example using Jeff Bezos. So Mr. Bezos, like most ultra-wealthy Americans, make most of their money from their investments. And we tax income from investments and wealth at a far lower rate than we tax income from work. And so Bezos has sold about $37 billion worth of Amazon stock since 2018. And you want to know how much more he would have owed if we taxed income from wealth at the same rate as income from work? $6.2 billion. That's how much Jeff Bezos was able to put in his pocket because we give preferential treatment to income from wealth in this country, $6.2 billion. So let me ask you, are more tax breaks for billionaires more important than SNAP and Medicare?
No.
Are more tax breaks for billionaires more important than the more than 120,000 federal workers who've lost their jobs and all the good work that they do for our country? No. Well, what about Amazon workers? I'm picking on Amazon a little bit, but you know that they represent so many of the low-wage employers in this country, the richest country in the world. Last year, median pay at Amazon was about $37,000. You think people at that wage were investing a lot in the stock market? No. In fact, 72% of Amazon employees have not one dime in their 401k plan. They're living paycheck to paycheck. These Amazon facts are from a report we just published with the Athena Coalition and Power Switch Action. And I'd like to end by reading what one Amazon warehouse worker, Wendy Taylor, wrote in response. My husband and I wait in line for hours at the food pantry every Monday while Amazon's executives make millions off our labor. They pay nearly nothing in taxes, diverting public resources from our parks, schools, and neighborhoods for their private gain. We all deserve to retire with dignity, but I have zero savings, while the people whose wealth I'm creating have more than they could ever need. Enough is enough. Together, we must demand that all corporations and all wealthy executives pay fair taxes and fair wages so we can have the economy that works for all of us. Yes. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, Sarah. And if we don't deal with this budget, we got to stay on point. We cannot, step back 1 second, Doctor.
Yes,
if we
sir.
don't deal with this budget, you will never be able to challenge the corporation. Right. And you can fight a corporation right now, but that corporation cannot do as much damage as this budget's going to do.
That's right.
In fact, there are forces that want us to be focused on a corporation and not focused on the government, because the government, because that's where the real damage is being done. How many of you here today are here because you're impacted? Anybody impacted need Medicaid? If you're impacted, I want you to come stand behind us or around.
Yes.
Impacted, you're on Medicaid or some form of health care. How many of you here, are there any persons here that have young children? Or you know people, you got young children, your grandmothers, aunties, granddaddies, where are you? How many of you people that know somebody that's impacted by what you're hearing about this budget?
Yes.
How many of you will make yourself a committee of one and try to get at least 10 people to come with you next Monday when we're here on the first Monday in May? Come on. We got it May the 5th. We'll talk about that more. All right. But we want to constantly and keep on building. Keep on building.
That's right.
Federal worker,
Yes, sir.
talk to us about what's going on and why we have to stand with you as a federal worker.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Bishop Barber. My name is Otis Johnson, Jr. I am the National Vice President for AFGE District 14.
That's right.
We cover D.C., Maryland, Virginia, and all of Europe.
That's right.
The attacks that we have seen on our federal employees are uncalled for, spiteful, and just downright plain horrendous. We all have family and friends that this is affecting right now. There's no need for the things that Doge and number 47 are doing to our people. Yes, we can go to court, and we've been going to court, and we're winning. But it takes things like this to let the American public know what we're going through, and we're not going to stand for it. My grandmother told me years ago that one of her sayings is that there is always a ram tied in the bush. And today we have this ram with us that is guiding us on these Moral Mondays. I'm going to read something here. It says, we are witnesses. We stand where the numbers don't. We see lives by the line items. We leave hunger behind the cuts. We feel the cold in every /shelter. The budget destroys people. It funds weapons and not wellness.
That's right.
It feeds profits, not people. It bails out the greed and starves the needs.
That's right.
We are moral witnesses.
That's right.
We testify to the truth and they don't tally.
That's right.
We remember the names that they erase. We speak for the silence, the sick, and the struggling. You call it fiscal responsibility. We call it violence by spreadsheet. You call it balancing the budget. We call it breaking the backs of the poor. And we won't be quiet. We won't be still. We will be heard. We are moral witnesses, and we will stand.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Bishop.
Yes, sir, Doc. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Johnson.
Say your name.
What's your name?
Sabrina.
Sabrina is coming as an impact worker. Reverend Johnson, come up here a second. I want to show folk on all over the world something. You heard him say Europe. See, part of the attacks
Yes.
is they want you to think federal worker
Yes.
only means D.C. and only means black
That's right.
or brown.
That's it.
They don't want you. That's why all this rage is happening around the country now, because they're finding out that when you cut federal workers, you're going to cut them in Virginia and Florida and Mississippi, everywhere.
That's right.
So now who else is a federal worker or been one? Anybody? Come on up here. Federal worker. If you're a federal worker, come on, stand up here if you don't mind. If you can stand. If you're a federal worker, stand up here with your colleague. All right? Now, I want you to see this picture out there. What do you do?
I worked at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
Yeah, see, she worked there.
Past tense.
Past tense. But that means somebody doesn't want to care about our environment.
That's
That's
right.
right.
All right?
That's right.
So I want the camera out there to see. We're talking about real folk. That's why we had her to come today. Tell us what's going
Thank
on,
you, Reverend.
Sabrina.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for being out here today. My name is Sabrina Valenti, and like I just said, until I was fired by Elon Musk, I was a budget analyst at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. So I know a thing or two about a budget. I handled the budget for this crucial coastal wetland restoration program that was building back marshes and barrier islands along Louisiana's coastline. My work was near and dear to my heart because I'm a child of the Gulf Coast. I grew up in Northwest Florida. I graduated from Louisiana State University. I am a product of public schools. And growing up on the Gulf of Mexico, I am no stranger to hurricanes. The further inland you are, you may know, the safer you are. And that's what made my work so important. Building up new land on that coastline meant more protection for vulnerable Louisianans, who y'all also might know are among the poorest people in this entire country.
Wow.
And when hurricanes strike, a whole lot of people can't afford to evacuate. They're at the mercy of whatever land stands between them and that storm. And I got fired just a few months before hurricane season begins. So without the budget person, you can't spend money. If you can't spend, you can't build. And if you can't build, you're heading into another hurricane season without the life-saving infrastructure that your taxes already paid for. Now, I've worked in budget for over 7 years, and I have seen firsthand the trade-offs that go into budgeting. But the trade-offs that we're seeing now are flat out immoral. Politicians in power are trying to shred our social safety net, and they're claiming they're saving money. But they're selling out the most poor and vulnerable Americans in the name of so-called efficiency. Is it efficient to take health care away from the poorest among us? No. Is it efficient to strip Social Security checks from people who need them? No. And is it efficient to fire people like me who dedicate our lives to serving the American people? No. So I came here today to share my story because you should know about the important work that can't get done now that I've been fired alongside tens of thousands of other federal workers. I'm fed up with politicians who are taking away our hard-earned safety net so that they can fund illegal mass deportations at home and vicious wars abroad. I believe in a more just and moral country, and I demand that we stand together to fight for it. Thank you.
Now, at every Moral Monday going forward, so I told you the first one started with 17 to grow. You will hear from the facts by the people impacted. This will not be a place for somebody to come and speak on behalf of people. We will stand with people, but if whatever the issue is, Sabrina's, because that's the clearest voice, isn't it? That's the voice that needs to be heard. That's the voice that needs to be on CNN and MSNBC. That's the voice that needs to be in the Washington Post and the New York Times. And what we want to do is build a stage and an audience for that voice. Are you going to help us do that? You're going to help us? See, when you say it's a moral issue, you're saying if I don't address it, then I'm wasting what I was born for. If it's just an issue, you don't have to deal with it. But if it's a moral issue, you're saying that it's so important that it requires my commitment. It requires me to change schedules. It requires me to be one in the number. I gotta be in the number. It says I must take a stand with others if it's a moral issue. How many of you believe even more than you did when you came here that this budget is a moral issue? And that this current budget is, say this with me if you believe it, it is morally indefensible. It's constitutionally inconsistent. And it's economically insane. See? And there's not a, well, we've heard this, but when you read, all I want you to do is get the preamble of the Constitution and go down what they're doing and say, now, does this sound like establishing justice? Does this sound like providing for the common defense? See, that's how you judge it. Does this sound like equal protection under the law? No. Now, lastly, before we go, we want folk, we don't want to split up first. We got some folk that are going to go because we're going to send these fact sheets different ways through email. But we're going to go into the Capitol together. Now, you have a right to go into the Capitol as a visitor. We're visiting the Capitol. What is that playing? Or is somebody just doing that? Okay. You have a right to go into the Capitol. We're going to go in the Rotunda. Anything that you do not, have not felt led to do, then don't you do that. And don't, everything we do it with dignity. We do it in the nonviolent tradition. And sometimes your role is to simply be a witness. You know, every crucifixion demands a witness. And we don't do things haphazardly. We never go anywhere to get arrested. I heard people say, I'm going, no, But sometimes there are some that have to make moral choices. And when we make that moral choice, some people witness others making the moral choice. And then you go tell people, make sure that folk know what's really going on and why it's going on. So we're going to the Capitol first to attempt to have a group of us deliver these fact sheets directly to Speaker Johnson, right to his office, right? We want to make sure that they cannot say they did not know. And we're going to deliver it to the leader of the opposition party, Jeffries. And then others will get it all, the 500, however, whatever that number is. What's that total number? 535 will actually get it through email and through people delivering it to them. Because we always, going back to Ezekiel, there was a question one time raised where God said, if I could just find one person that will stand in the gap. And then the Bible tragically says that God said, I could not find one. That's in the 22nd chapter of Ezekiel. But then 15 chapters over in Ezekiel 37, God says to Ezekiel, I know where you can find them. They're down in this valley, and they've been treated so undignified that they weren't even given a decent burial. And they're dried out, and they're dead, but the ears of their spirit still work. And if you will go down in that valley and talk to them, they will become a mighty army for what's right. Tomorrow, Monday, is to speak to those in the valley. Because the truth of the matter, my brothers and sisters, the poor and the low wage and disrespected people of this country, dejected, along with you, courageous folk of courage and religious and moral leaders, are the only real hope for the turnaround. There comes a time where only the rejected can revive a country. It took the rejected abolitionists to change America. It took rejected women to change America. It took the rejected sons and daughters of farm workers to change America. It took the rejected who were being denied civil rights to change America. It took the rejected in the LGBTQ community to change. It always comes a point whether rejected. And sometimes our goal is not to do it for, but to send the word that it's your time. It's to give people the permission to stand up, to let them know why they ought to be standing. So now I want you to be like one of my aunts told me. She said, I'm like a refrigerator. I can't keep nothing. How many of you going to tell everybody you know about these fact sheets and send them everywhere you can? I want you to get up. I want your computer to smoke because you're sending out so many and telling people to join us next Monday, right here, and then back in June. And depending on how things go, we don't know. It could escalate to every Monday. All right, but let's build until the time comes that people are just everywhere. Do not despise small beginnings. First of all, this ain't small, but don't despise, because things will grow. You're here. People are here. Now, where are those groups? Did you call them out, Hannah, yet? Yes, sir. Where I need a representative come. I need a representative from the National Council of Churches to come up here. Come stand right up here. I need a representative from the AME Zion Church to come stand. I need a representative from the Christian Church, Disciples of Christ, to come up here. Need a representative from the Jewish brothers and sisters to come up, stand. Y'all get right on in front. Push on out there. They say, yes, stand on up there some. Where's the Muslim brother? What's the other group? Sojourners, is that right? Is there somebody from Sojourners? Because we need folk to not just come and bring people with you from your group. Where is the Universalists? Where are you? Come on. There you are. There you are. All right. How you doing? Good. I love the Universal. You know, they're the ones that came up with that moral arc of the universe. It wasn't Dr. King. It was where's the Episcopal? On the other side. All right. Well, how about Presbyterian? Come on in there, Presbyterian. Stand on up here, Presbyterian. Lord, when we all get together. What a day. Katina, I might need you to holler that a little bit. What a day of justice it's going to be. Presbyterian? Come right. Okay. All right. Who else? Members of the 27 anchor groups in Washington, D.C. Where are you? Just one person come if you're a member of that congregation. Local congregation. Local. Anybody else I didn't mention? Come on, stand in this line up here. I want for a purpose. I want the whole world to see. There you go. We got our anchors. Yeah. How many? And these folk represent millions of people, literally. Thousands and thousands of congregations. Now we have to call for them. This is not the day anymore that we come just and represent. It's the day. We're getting ready to activate all the folk that are with repairers all around the country, all of the folk that say they're your friends. This is the time. Yes. Somebody shout, change your calendar. Change your calendar. It's moral meeting time. Change your calendar. It's moral meeting time. United Church of Christ. Come on, where do you raise your hand? Come on up here so we can see you. Somebody with the United Church of Christ. Come on. There. All right. And black voters matter. Anybody there? There. Come on, black voters matter. And we want some young folk too. All right. Working on seminary. We just had a group of 1,000 Muslims who are at the Capitol. They say they're joining. See, sometimes if you just start, Mary McLeod Bethune went out and started on a garbage dump building a college. And somebody said she's crazy. She said, I am. I'm crazy enough to start, and what's going to happen is either somebody's going to say I'm crazy and come help me because I'm crazy, or they're going to help me because they don't think I'm crazy. But either way, I'm going to get the help. Right? So we're starting something. So tell your neighbor it's time to start something. It's time to start. Right here in America. Right here in America. When we all get together, what a day of justice it will be. Where's Katina? She's serving as our theomusicologist. While all of these anchors are up here, let them form a jump-off choir led by Sister Toon. She's a great vocalist. Come on. Can you impromptu that? All right, come on, Lord, join me. All right, we all get it done. What a day of justice it will be. Come on.
When we all get together, what a day of justice it will be. All right. When we all come together, we will sing and shout the victory. Oh, and we all come together. What a day of rejoicing it will be. When we all come together, we will sing and shout the victory. One more time, when we all come together, what a day of justice it will be. When we all come together, we will sing and shout the victory. Oh, and we all fight together. What a day of justice it will be. When we all fight together, we will sing, shout the victory. When we all stand together. What a day of justice it will be. When we all, stand together, we will sing and shout the victory. One more time. When we all come together. What a day of justice it will be. When we all come together, we will sing and shout the victory.
All right. So we're getting ready to walk over now. We want all of the clergy, and if you have an impacted person with you, and by the way, clergy, in your congregation, bring an impacted person with you when you come. But Hannah's going to be over at the front. We're going to line up together, all that's going in. We want you to do 2 by 2 with at least 10 people apart, 10 feet apart, And we're going to walk over together. When you're in the Capitol, don't, like what we just did then, don't do that. There's some of us that have to do what we have to do, but don't you do that. You witness, right? But let's go together. Now, can you line up now? Yes, sir. All right, line up. Have the shofar in just a second, yeah. And then we're going to have, once we line up, we're going to have the shofar to blow before we go over. So I need staff on point to line up the clergy. Come on up. Where are all of y'all? Mads? All of y'all.